you this year's We Are All Okay Global Online Conference. We run this conference every year, and we have a very special topic, freedom from the shackles of the Dunyah. With everything that is going on in the world right now, this topic is incredibly valuable. There's a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, a lot of mental health issues going on in our ummah, and particularly as a result of what's going on in the world. So being able to free ourselves from the shackles of the dunya by being able to live this life in a resilient way, we can navigate this without all the fear, the anxiety, the stress, and the overwhelm. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about what's included in this conference, and definitely go to the link. I've shared it in the description of this video, but it's also, you can see it scrolling across the screen. weareallokconference.com. Registration is free, so there's no excuse. You can attend live for free, and there's a small investment to upgrade. So this is actually the upgrade page, but I wanted to share it with you, to share with you what some of the topics are that we're covering. So I'm going to scroll down here and just show you each session and what we're covering. So the first session is about challenging relationships. One of the biggest challenges we have in this dunya are our relationships. So we're talking about the topic of divorce and when it looks like that's the only option moving forward. And Raisa is going to actually show you that maybe there are other options. Sometimes it seems like that might be the only way, but we have seen amazing results where some relationships have been saved. Loving for the sake of Allah, so detaching in difficult relationships to bring back the loving feeling in our families. Again, a very similar sort of topic about how we can actually show up for the sake of Allah in our relationships, and because there are the ties of kinship that we cannot break those relationships. And so how can we still maintain those relationships and have a loving feeling in them, even if some people are quite difficult to deal with? Reframing rejection. So how do we cope with the pain of loss, of being rejected? Relationship roles. So this is a panel discussion, our first panel discussion, which is a really beautiful discussion, mashallah, between Amy, Marilyn, and Amal, around how once we get focused on rights and responsibilities in our relationships, resentment tends to creep in. And so what is the solution? Well, they're going to share that with you. The universal message of hope. So Muslims, as in people from our Back to the Fitrah team, Christians, as in the leadership in Naka Valley refugee camp, and Harry, our leader in our addiction department, who is the one who started this work in Uganda, invited us to join him there, discuss this amazing project, which is less than a year old, but has already impacted thousands of people in Uganda in a refugee camp, and brought smiles into the camp. And actually, one of the things you'll hear in there is the beautiful results of kids being more focused and learning at school, because obviously in their predicament, education is going to be a really important aspect to them having a good life moving forward. So that's our challenging relationships. The next session, session 2, is on personal growth. And there's a lot of topics here about being able to speak authentically, be able to speak up, be able to speak up for the sake of Allah, as in enjoying the good and forbid the evil. So the first 2 talks, the sound of authenticity, discovering your voice amidst the chorus of opinions. So when everybody else has got a different opinion and yet you've got to speak up, that can be very challenging. From silent to sassy, how to speak up for the sake of Allah. You are not your mistakes, how to rise above regret and to self-respect. Really important topic, because sometimes we get quite bogged down in feeling overwhelmed with the feelings that we have of regret when we've done something wrong. Conquering our ego, being a pathway to a happier and peaceful life. Brilliant taught by Manaza there. Discover the secret of being consistent. SubhanAllah, how many people say, I can't be consistent? And yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he loves the small things done consistently. So it's actually an act of worship, being consistent. Uncovering of the Fitrah, how I found my connection with Allah. So really about connecting back with Allah. And my topic, teaching from a full cup, the synergy of teacher well-being and classroom excellence. So sharing how it's really important to look after our own well-being as a teacher in the classroom. Then we have session 3, which is a topic on spiritual growth. So love this one, let go and let Allah. This topic of letting go of control, handing the reins over to Allah, really submitting to the fact that Allah is the one who has control over everything and we do not, really brings us to a true source of happiness. Brilliant topic by Nahida there. Quality of life depends on a balance between knowledge and wisdom. This one is a really interesting one because you can have knowledge and not be wise, and you can be wise without knowledge, and there's problems with both, and having the balance between the two is the way to have a really meaningful life. And Bilkisu is going to share more about that. Yai is going to bring an interesting topic to do with the spiritual solution to pain relief. So pain is inevitable. You know, we stub our toe, we're going to feel it. We cut our finger, we're going to feel it, right? But suffering in that pain is optional. So she's actually going to bring a really interesting concept there to the table. Mudassir is going to show us how the love of money can actually lead to unhealthy relationships in our family and everything, subhanAllah. Then we have a panel discussion, our next panel discussion. Ummi, Abby, I'm not a Muslim anymore. The cost of not paying attention to our children. This is a discussion between myself, Raisa, and Asamini. Really important topic because there are huge statistics, very depressing statistics of how many of our children are actually leaving in Islam. And the key time is between the age of 17 to 22. That's when 49% of people who leave Islam are in that age bracket. So it's a really critical time, and it's a really critical discussion that we'll have there. Overcoming procrastination in your Quran studies. Who here procrastinates when you have Quran? SubhanAllah. So how to end that self-doubt and self-sabotage and just get started by our Quran expert, Maryam, mashallah. Then we're heading into the topic of resilient relationships in session 4. Breaking the chains, unraveling the power dynamics and anger within family control systems. You may have experienced that where, you know, there's these kind of dynamics within families where there's a lot of anger and a lot of control, and it just really is a very unhappy environment. So how do you break free from that? What is the point? How to find the purpose of life? For working mothers who feel lost, sorry for sometimes I go live and I haven't turned my mic on, and my phone was just going bing, 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 and I thought it was someone telling me my mic wasn't on. And I thought, oh, that would be not good. Anyway, so Aisha's really going to share the challenges that are faced by working mothers and how they kind of lose connection with themselves and get a bit lost. There's always hope is a spiritual journeys of the Back to the Fitrah certification students. Actually, it says part 2 there. I better edit that. There is only one part to that. This is a showcase of our certification students and how they're putting their story of hope together and sharing that with you. Nurturing resilience, embracing the extraordinary journey of parenting a child with chronic illness. This is a really powerful story by Inas. I've heard her share it before, and her, lifetime journey with her eldest daughter, and what it takes to look after a child that has very, very special needs. And hopefully it will open everyone's hearts to those parents out there who have children like this. It's not easy. Such a big test from Allah. And Maryam is going to talk about unlocking eternal bliss, the sacred journey of marriage towards Jannah. So a Jannah-focused marriage. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Now, session 5, this is our addiction department. We have a whole department that focuses on addiction. And so we are going to share with you the spiritual solution of addiction. We're going to share with you some case studies about results, about the relapses, about the rejuvenation and the wonderful lives that people can live, and the families of these people can live beyond addiction. We're going to talk about, facing the addictions hidden in our Muslim homes, behind the curtains. So really tackling the unspoken issue of addiction that we have in our Muslim homes. We want to really get that stigma out of here so that we can have honest and open conversations, because this is a problem in not just our ummah, it's a problem for humankind. Addiction is it's a misunderstanding in our thinking of how we want to feel better, and we're going to unpack all of that for you and hopefully blow some of these stigmas out of the way so we can actually get to work and heal addiction in our ummah. And then the next panel, coping with addiction, is supporting those who love and support the ones suffering from addiction, because often they're neglected. The family members that are dealing with someone who is addicted are going through a lot, and they need support too. And we support a lot of people who are in that situation. And then at the end, our manager of the addiction department, Daniela, will share how people can get support from our addiction department. Okay, families with teens. We get so many people coming to us with all the challenges of bringing up teens. Asamini is amazing, and she's going to talk about the imperfectly perfect family, how to move beyond family culture to having strong family connections with your teens. So she often is working with and helping bridge the gap between families where the parents have migrated. She's in the US to the US or to other Western countries, and they've grown up in their own culture. Now their children are growing up in a different culture, and there becomes this cultural gap within families. And so she helps bridge that gap and really help how families can move forward beyond that, so there can be a strong connection and we don't lose our teens to the West, subhanallah. Khadija Al-Khador is healing in the hot mess, how to come out of the chaos to connected and compassionate relationships. Very, very important topic. The relationships here are all the different relationships within the family, and how we can get past dysfunction and back on track, because dysfunctional families are not able to support our kids, especially our teens. Then we have our first Q&A session with the mentors, where you can come along and ask what questions you like. We have another panel discussion with myself, Mona, and Khadija, where we talk about, are they safe, exploring how our children are losing their innocence under our noses. Ever since the handheld devices have become available to young people, we are now discovering that our children are getting addicted to visual addictions, to games, to all sorts of things that they can do at any time, day or night, because they can just hide under their blankets in their bedroom and do it. And so we just unpack that topic and bring some awareness. True love is setting limits. Beautiful, beautiful topic. One thing we hear a lot from parents is the challenge of connecting, setting limits with our teens. So Asma is going to share how setting limits with them is actually showing them true love, and how do we set those appropriate boundaries and help parents understand the importance of setting those boundaries. And then empowering families through Islamic leadership, how to overcome fear and frustration to lead your family towards Jannah. This is our brother Muhammad. So Mudassir and Muhammad are our two brothers. Inshallah, we will get more brothers joining the certification. If you're a brother out there and you're keen to do this work with us, please, please, please come forward. We're really looking for more brothers because we need brothers to help the brothers. Anyway, so Muhammad is our other brother back to the Fitrah. And so he's going to talk about family leadership, which is obviously something that's really important for the brothers to be able to step into that. And I think he's got some very interesting perspectives on that. And then our last session, peaceful parenting. So we've got Romy talking about healthy, happy mum and bub, talking about postpartum healing, a very important topic for anyone who's about to give birth or has just recently given birth. Pamela's topic, I love this topic, becoming a playful parent, how detachment from the Dunyah releases playfulness from within. And you might be going, why do we need to be playful? I can tell you that setting playful limits with our children is so much more fun than setting serious limits, and laughter to get our children back on track is so much more fun than tantrums. So playful parenting is really actually incredibly important and a lot more fun. Then we've got our next panel discussion, innocent oppression, killing curiosity and disrupting the Fitrah in our children, where Aisha, Lena, Amy and I will unpack how we're accidentally or innocently corrupting that Fitrah or disrupting that Fitrah in our children in the way that we are parenting them. Daniela here is now talking about self-care as an act of worship, filling your cup first so you can be of service to Allah. And while that may not seem like a peaceful parenting topic, I can tell you right now, if you're not looking after yourself and filling up your cup, you're not going to be able to be a peaceful parent. So it does fit in here, alhamdulillah. Janine's going to talk about protecting the Fitrah of our children, understanding how we're innocently turning children away. There's a typo there, better fix that too. Away from Allah. So we are accidentally turning our children away from Allah, and we're going to unpack that a little bit more. Overcoming mummy guilt, making peace with the past to be an awesome mum that you are. See, we know that it's never too late to get on track, and it's never too late to be a better parent for our children, no matter what has happened before. And in order to do that, we have to get past that mummy guilt first. And you could pretty much switch this out and put daddy guilt in there too if there's dads listening. Then we've got our final Q&A with the mentors where you can come and ask us anything. And then the grand prize draw of our competitions that we'll be running throughout the conference. So as you can see, this is jam-packed with topics that are really on the forefront of our minds in the Ummah. And it's really, really important that you make the time to join. Welcome from the Netherlands. Great to see you here. Thank you for being here. Assalamu alaikum. And Shaista as well. Assalamu alaikum. Great to have you here. So please make sure that you sign up for our conference. Attending live is free. Of course, there's a lot more than you can probably absorb in one weekend. And as you can see, there's so many really important topics on there. So what I encourage you to do is once you've enrolled for free, there will be an opportunity to upgrade just for $29. That is nothing. A conference like this, I would normally pay at least $300 for access to a conference like this, maybe more. So you can attend free, live free. You can upgrade for 15 minutes after you've registered for only $29. It's a really special offer because we want you all to actually benefit from this. And the best way to benefit from it is to get access to the recordings. When you upgrade, you'll get access to the recordings. You'll get access to us in the Zoom room. So you'll get the Zoom link. So you will join us in the room. And you'll also get a workbook so that you can follow along and take notes and keep that as a record of your takeaways through the sessions. If you miss that 15-minute opportunity, the early bird upgrade is actually $49, and that is until the conference begins. As you can see, the conference begins in 4 hours. Let's have a look. 4 hours, 13, 4 days, 13 hours, 35 minutes, and 27 seconds. So not long, less than 5 days. And until then, you can get access for $49 during the conference. The VIP access will be $99, which still is a lot less than what a conference like this would go for commercially. So I really, truly recommend get in there, at least register for free. You do not want to miss this. Now, just one more thing before I go, just to show you what others said in our previous conference. So these are some of the testimonials. You may not be able to see them too well, so I'll read it out loud. So Zainab says, Alhamdulillah, this talk was just what I needed at the time in my life, trying to find a balance between the Quran and my academics. It was really inspiring, especially Sister Mariam's story. My takeaway is the fact that whoever strives sincerely to get closer to Allah, Allah knows and will ease his affairs. The Quran doesn't increase one in anything other than good and even better, Alhamdulillah. Nana Aisha said, enjoying the conference, the constant reminder of having and slowing down to the speed of tawakkul is really getting the point in. Allah said, remind for the reminder benefits the righteous. You are doing a wonderful job with the constant reminders. Alhamdulillah. This is from last year where our topic was slowing down to the speed of tawakkul. Weasel says, wow, the conference this year was aptly named and delivered. To all the speakers, you were awesome, inspiring, attention-grabbing, genuine, authentic in sharing and linking your life experience to the message you were conveying. I enjoyed this style of presentation because through them displaying their vulnerability, I was able to connect the dots and see the light. Beautiful. And Iman says, this was the second conference I attended, and honestly, it is so insightful and really gives you hope that you are really going to be okay with all the advice and guidelines that's been shared with us. Honestly, I can't think of anything else that could be wrong. Nazira says, Alhamdulillah, learned a lot from the beginning of the meaning of the word tawakkul till implementing it in my life, inshallah. Now I take a moment and try to arrange my thoughts before taking any action, to be mindful, take self-care, try to take an insight, and many more, alhamdulillah. No words to describe my feelings. There were moments when I really wept, subhanallah. May Allah help me the implementing what I have learned from the sessions I could attend. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless this academy and may it prosper. Jazakallah khairan for all your efforts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. Ameen. And Maria says, it's so transformative. So that's just some of the testimonials from last year's conference. So you can see, subhanAllah, there is so much barakah in being a part of this conference. I definitely hope that you will take the time to join us this coming weekend, inshallah. As I said, register free. weareallokconference.com. You can see the link scrolling across the screen, and you can find it in this description of this video as well. So Jazakallah khair for being here and listening to this video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.